Hey, lovers! Welcome to the Book Lovers Club, the podcast where we celebrate Black sapphic love stories, one book at a time. I'm your host, Joy, a married lesbian, lifelong book lover, and relational communication scholar. Here, we don't just read the romance, we learn from it. I believe that love stories can do more than just entertain us. They can teach us how to love better, how to see ourselves more clearly, and how to create the love life of our dreams. Each week, I'll dive into sapphic stories written for us and by us, while weaving in personal insights and communication lessons you can take off the page. So grab your drink, get cozy, and let's turn the page together. Welcome to the club. Hey, book lovers! Welcome back to another episode of the Book Lovers Club. And y'all, it is a special episode because I am here with one of my favorite Black sapphic authors, Author Karmen Lee. Y'all, I am a huge fan. I have all of the books in her Peach Blossom series, and she is dropping a new book and agreed to come on my podcast today to talk to you all. And Carmen Lee, can you please just give us a little bit of information about you and introduce yourself to the listeners?
Sure. I'm Karmen Lee, um, author of, honestly, I don't even know how many books at this point, maybe 15 different books, primarily sapphic, Black sapphic romance, but pretty much always queer. I tell people, even if the book is MF, more than likely somebody's bisexual. Like, we're just going to go with that. Everybody's canonically queer. I love my small town romances. As you can tell, most of my catalog is small town romances because Black and queer folks live in small towns. We are
Yes.
everywhere. And I just love writing a lot of queer joy and Black queer joy specifically.
Yes, I love that. So this brings me to my first question. Is Peach Blossom based off of a real town? Like, did you get inspiration from a real town for that?
Yes and no. I think Peach Blossom is really based off of a small town that I want to exist. And like I'm sure that there are small towns that exist that are maybe more progressive, but I'm a Southern girl. I'm from Tennessee, living in Georgia, and it is definitely hard to find aggressive, queer, normative small
Yes.
towns. And so I really just wanted to create one. It's kind of like all of the things in small towns that I love. Like I love everybody knowing everybody else's business. I think part of that is because I am from such a large family. I have like 5, 6 sisters. I joke that I can't remember how many. Um, and so like my family is a small town, and it's just something so fun that comes into play when you have like those small town dynamics. And then queer folks, we're messy. Like
Yes.
we're messy the same way small towns are messy, like everybody knows everybody else. It's like, oh, I went on a date with this girl yesterday. Oh, that's my ex-girlfriend. Like, wait a minute.
Big
you
facts.
know? So yeah, but there are some small towns that like I've been through, and I love how they feel, even if they are still like painfully straight or
Mhm.
painfully white, not a whole lot of diversity in any kind of way, but they still, they have the feel, like the small town feels. It's very cozy, feels very safe, it feels very warm. And so I just kind of created like the perfect small town of my dreams where, if I had won that $1 billion Mega Millions that we had a couple weeks ago, I would have created my own small town like that. So
Look, I got excited. I'm like, well, if this is a real place, I would like to live there. Just to...
one day, one
One
day.
day. Okay, well, your new book is coming out on January 22nd. Can you tell us a little bit more about the book and what readers can expect?
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. And I had somebody comment, I think maybe on TikTok, when I first kind of talked about the book that's coming out at the end of this month called Mine, Yours, Ours. And she's like, Carmen seems like such a sweet, wholesome person. She writes these like cozy small towns. And then next thing I know, she's writing a book and she's talking about murder. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a Libra. So we got to keep
Understood.
that balance. And I'm an
Mhm.
October Libra. So that tells you a little something. But yeah, I think this one, I jokingly just kind of called this female rage. in a way because and I will just say partially because of what this year
Mm.
has turned into or what last year and this one kind of is continuing that. I needed another outlet for just like, you know, this is all of this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's kind of pissing me off. Um and so yeah, it is I wanted I wanted to like showcase kind of another aspect because I think in a lot of ways and some of the conversation too like that had happened on like threads, they were like sapphic books are always so sweet and so wholesome. And it's like, yeah, that's great, but also like we get mad just like anybody else.
Yes.
And in fact, you better be glad that all we do is get mad and not trying to get even with things. And so that's
Mhm.
kind of how this was born. It actually started as a Patreon serial, and then I decided that I wanted to actually like publish it as a book, and it's gone through a slightly darker iteration now that I've like gone through edits. The bones are still on Patreon, but obviously like it's evolved as edits have happened and betas have read it. But I'm super excited. It's kind of starting my new dark sapphic universe, as I'm calling it, the Pretty When Vicious world.
Ooh.
There are more books that are planned, some that will be announced at some point. But this one I'm super excited about. People have been giving a lot of great excitement, social media and everything. And so I'm hoping that they enjoy kind of this direction that things have gone. I'm not done with small town by any means, but I think this is just kind of another fun facet.
Yeah. I'm really excited, and I know some of my followers are. I had some people comment on old posts that I made a post recommending like a list of Black Sapphic books, and someone said, I want a gangster book, like I want something dark." And then, I'm like, that's just so funny because now you're releasing a dark romance. And I think that people are really, like you said, craving that because yes, we have the small towns, the books feel good, but people are multifaceted and
Mhm.
have a darker side, and having a space to release that and to connect with those sides of ourselves through the writing that you're sharing, I think is very needed. So, like I said, I think there's people that are really seeking this because I'm getting comments like that on my post, like, I need something darker than this.
I
So,
know. Yeah, and I think too, like another aspect is, dark romance. I enjoy like reading dark romance. I come from fan fiction, and honestly, like fan fiction, there's a lot of dark romance in fan fiction, just quite frankly. But yeah, trying to find kind of some dark romance that is black and sapphic has
yeah.
been difficult, And so, I'm definitely not the only one out there doing it, but I was just like, you know what? I love reading it, so let me let me throw my hat in the ring and see how this goes.
Yes. I agree. So I'm really excited to read your book. I- Honestly, I read most of your things. I just ordered another another book that you dropped. So I really your writing's very consistent.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate it. Like if you are looking for a really good Black Sapphic book to read, people know like, okay, you can choose a Carmen Lee book and you won't be disappointed.
Oh,
So
good.
no,
That
really.
always, makes me feel good because it's
Yes.
because I definitely will say that like my writing has started evolving. I kind of touched on that in my Patreon when Mine Yours Ours actually started in third person. And then while I was going through and doing the edits, I realized I don't like it in third person. I need to switch this over to first person. So it's, I'll just say as an author and for anyone out there who will be watching and listening and they're, writing a book, if it's not working for you, switch it. Like,
Yeah.
just change it up, and that's been something to learn too, because you'll see a lot of times people are like, "Well, you need to write your book this way," and I'm just like, "No, you write it the way that works for you." So, it makes me feel good that, like, some of my processes and things have changed but they still resonate with readers, which is great.
Yeah. So, how do you juggle those pressures coming from readers? Because people are very vocal now, and everyone has a platform, and they have their own preferences that they project onto authors. Like, well, this book should have been spicier, or I feel like the character should
Mm.
have been like this. How do you juggle that? Like, prioritizing your own creative process and your own art, but also, being responsive to what the market wants.
It's difficult. I think the biggest thing that, like, slowly having realized is that you're not gonna be able the same book is not gonna hit for everybody. Um, and, like, even for the 7-10 split when that came out, I had some people who were like, "There is too much bowling in this book," and I had other people who were saying there wasn't enough bowling in this book. So, like, that just kinda gives you an idea that, like, it's not there's always gonna be someone who's not happy with it or it just doesn't work for them, which is totally fine. I have friends who read my books, but they don't like slow burns, and I tend to write a lot of slow burns. And they're like, "Yeah, you're great, but this was slow burn. I can't do it." And I'm like, "You know what? That's fine." And sometimes, like for me, I'm very much like a mood reader and a mood writer. And so I just assume if I am, most people are. And so sometimes I'll start reading a book and like I know I like this book, but it's just not hitting for me right then. And I'll try it, 6 months later and it's just like the best book I've ever read. So I think the biggest thing is just realizing you're not going to be able to there's nothing that universally is going to work the same for everybody. And if I spend too much time trying to please every single reader, I'll never get the book done,
Yeah, that's real.
you
Yeah.
know? And so and then it just won't be mine and it won't be a consistent voice, kind of like you said. If I'm trying to please reader A, they might be happy, but then everybody else might not be. And then if I'm switching to try to please them, then they're not going to. And then the book, my books start seeming inconsistent. So pretty much I write for me, but also because I'm obviously multifaceted as a person, I know it's going to work for somebody.
Yeah.
And so I try to just be kind of true to the book that I want to read or I want to write and to my characters as they, talk in my ear and tell me what they want next. And then just, hope that it works for people.
Yeah, that's real. So, with all of that in mind, how do you feel when you're about to release a book? Do you have a lot of anxiety the
Oh
day
yeah.
before release day, or is it is it
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So much anxiety. Like when I tell you this book that's coming up next, I think I have probably worried my friends to death. I'm surprised that they're still taking my text messages or my voice messages. Honestly, yes, every single release. I think the only releases that I don't get as nervous with are
Mhm.
like my traditional publication releases because I'm not the one pressing the button, you
Understood.
know once I do my edits and everything, it's on somebody else, and then, I can sit back and, avoid Goodreads as much as possible. Um, but yeah, I mean, with when I'm doing my indie books, it's much more anxiety because I'm the one uploading the file, I'm the one pressing the buttons, I'm the one kind of doing everything. I'm the last line of defense to making sure that the right document gets in there. Um, and so yeah, anxiety at an all-time high. I usually take release day off because it's a lot like coming down from like a bender. You're just exhausted
Wow.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's you build yourself back up until the next release, and then it's kind of this cycle. Like I'm super excited for the book to come out, and I think it's great, but also I'm, you know, nervous that like is everything going to work right, is Amazon going to give me grief for no reason,
Yeah.
am I going to accidentally put up the wrong file, all those kind of anxieties. Are people going to like it? If they don't like it, are they just going to be like say it on Goodreads where it doesn't matter because I refuse to go over there, or are they going to like send me an email in my inbox and tell me how much they hated my book? you know so yeah, the anxiety is definitely at a high. We're at a 10, we're probably at a, like, 4 today, but, like, as every
Yeah.
day that we get closer, it gets a little bit higher, and then it drops off, thankfully, so
So I feel like the landscape that we're dealing with right now, like with social media and the parasocial relationships that people have with authors, publishing books and putting your art out to be criticized in this way, there is a lot of praise, but how people critique your art and dissect it, I feel like it's evolved from when I was
Mm,
younger because now people are making posts about it and just the nature of
yeah.
social media has evolved. How do you practice just self-care? I know you mentioned you don't check Goodreads, but what are some of the practices that you do to just make sure that you're not, really taking all of that in and being impacted by that while you're trying to stay consistent with your art?
It sounds strange, but I think being a single mom helps. because I don't always have time to anyway. Like I am when we say soccer mom, that's literal for me. Like my son plays soccer. So I am I am a soccer mom. And when soccer season starts and stuff, we are at the soccer field for like 4 or 5 days a week and there's thankfully no service out there. So I couldn't pay attention to it even if I wanted to. But I think part of it is just kind of knowing yourself too. Like I know that I can handle a certain amount of critique, but I also know that sometimes I just can't
Yeah,
and I need to just take a step back. Otherwise, it will like absolutely send me spiraling. But yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is I definitely try never, I don't read my reviews unless someone tags me and then I hope that it's a nice one. I'll just kind of like skim through it and then like it and like that's it and like dip out. But yeah, I generally speaking try to stay away from all reviews. If it comes across my feed on TikTok, which thankfully is surprisingly rare, I very rarely come across any of my books popping up on TikTok or Facebook or, any of
yeah.
the social medias. I just try to avoid it and like exit out before I hear anyone saying anything.
That's real.
So
That's
yeah,
real.
I just try to stay away from it to be completely honest. Because I mean, I am big in the, like, for the most part, respecting reader spaces,
Yeah,
staying away and, once I put my book out, it's out there. And so at that point, it's really none of my business, and I
that's
try to
real.
very much, you know, practice that black art of minding my business.
Yeah. Yeah, I always want to ask you all about that because I know there's a lot of people out there that desire to be writers and have
Mm,
a fear around publishing their books and putting their art out there
yeah,
because of the landscape that they would be navigating now. So, hearing the different ways that current authors are navigating that and just the strategies that you use, I think can be really helpful for anybody that wants
mhm,
to write. And, I think our books, like Black Sapphic books and Black queer books, just don't get enough publicity or support. I also think our books tend to be overly criticized, and that is a hill I will
yeah.
die on. I stand by that.
Oh, yeah, I stand by that as well. You
Yes.
haven't said anything that I
Oh,
don't agree with right there.
okay. I think our books are overly criticized compared to others. So, I wish more people felt brave enough to put their books out there because there are a lot of us who want the story. So, I'm just
Mm,
grateful that you have strategies and things that you're using to kind of stay grounded so that you can still put your art out. But you mentioned that you're a soccer mom.
mhm,
I believe you also work outside of this.
I do.
So, yeah, so how are you juggling all of these responsibilities while building your writing business?
Girl, I don't sleep. I don't sleep. I have people yelling at me. They're like, "Did I think you just sent me something at 3 o'clock in the morning? Don't you have to get up at 7?" Mm. Um, it's so I try to kind of schedule things out. Thankfully, soccer season, when it does start, is very scheduled, so I tend to build
Okay.
my schedule around that, and my day job I've been doing for, man, going on almost a decade now, and so I have a
Mm,
lot of processes that are kind of like, quote, unquote, "automated." I'm kind of doing the same stuff in a cyclical kind of way, so I know what's coming, and I know how much brain power I need to kind of expend day to day, but I honestly I tend to write a little bit every day. My witching hours used to be called the Write Owls, and that's 100% accurate. I usually tend to write between, like, 10 PM and 12 in the morning, sometimes 1 in the morning just to kind of get things out. But I also do a lot of dictation, which I can do when I'm in the car, driving
mhm.
around. When my son is doing soccer practice, I might be in the car again doing some dictation on my phone. That's one thing I do. Like my phone, computer, like most of my stuff is connected. So no matter kind of where I am, I can at least, if a scene
Yeah.
comes to me, I can jot it down and have it saved somewhere. But yeah, I probably don't sleep as much as I'm supposed to, but yeah, it's it's a struggle, and, like, my overall goal is actually to be a full-time author one day, somehow, some way, but, health insurance.
That's real, especially right now.
In this economy,
That's what
mhm.
I'm saying. Yeah. But, we just gonna pray and manifest this goal for you that you will be a full-time author, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
It's coming. We claiming it.
Yes.
Yes. So I wanna get into some messy drama a little bit.
Ooh,
Yes. Are any of your books, the characters, based off of real people that you know? Or any real life dating experiences that you channel into
Oh,
these books?
ooh. So, sort of. So
Okay.
I will say, like, the sister dynamics are very much based off me and my sisters. Some of the conversations, similarly, very much based off of like me and my sisters. Like, not even joke. Me and one of my sisters had a conversation about who came out first. I think it was me. She swears it was her. I don't think so. So
Sounds
some
like in
of
the
that, like,
relationship mechanic.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, some of that is 100% based off of like real life between me and sisters. Jordan, Danny's son, that relationship is very much based off my child. And yes, I have to tell people, yes, kids that age do talk like that. 100%. You know, same with like some of the other family dynamics, same with the friend dynamics are very similar. I'd say Cups of You, which is like the one of the first indie books that I published. It's not sapphic, but it is small town. Those two characters were absolutely based off of two friends of mine, to the point that I gave them the book before it was done, and she absolutely texted me and she's like, "Is this book about me?" And I was like, "I'm so glad that y'all realized that. Yes, it is." But yeah, I mean, sometimes I do like some of my characters do have like aspects of them that are very much similar to some friends of mine or family or myself. Dating wise, not a whole lot, surprisingly. I'd say the closest one that is not really based completely off of me, but very similar to kind of like where I was at the time is Crossroads.
I love that
Um,
book.
yeah, I wrote so that book actually first was written back in 2014 when I was going through my divorce. So it was very true to life. It was kind of
Okay.
that book that I needed to write right
Mhm.
then for myself. I would say that probably is the book the most that I wrote by, like for myself.
Wow.
And it was super exciting when it resonated with a lot of people. But that was probably the closest where I was like, this is the idealized way that things might have gone. I would have moved back home and like gotten with a like former best friend, which all of
Yeah.
my best friends for the most part are straight and or married, so like that wouldn't work. But but just kind of like that
Yeah.
fantasy of, you're starting over as a single parent, trying to figure things out, and you have like this built-in relationship with a friend that you already can trust. Because that's kind of for me, relationships
Yeah.
are all about trust, and who best to trust than your friends, which is why a lot of my books are kind of friends to lovers. But that's probably the closest. I
Okay.
think most things are a little bit just like me maybe watching something or, you know, hearing other relationship
Mhm.
dramas and just being like, "Oh, this is how it should have gone," kind of
Yeah.
situation.
Look, if I was publishing books, anybody that pissed me off, they would be a villain in every story.
Oh, 100%. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the like, especially Danny's ex-husband, that
Mhm.
might have been, based off somebody, and, it was great too, because sometimes people are like, "Are you gonna try to rehabilitate certain people?" And, my editor at the time, I remember her having a comment towards the beginning, and she's like, "Maybe we should soften him so we can rehabilitate him," and I was just waiting for her to get to a certain chapter, and she's like, "Nah, never mind." And I was like,
Yep.
"Perfect." He hit exactly how I was wanting I wanted everybody to hate that man.
And we did. And
Listen,
did. Yeah, and
I was
did.
so happy about that. I was like, "Good,"
Yeah.
because he's never being redeemed
Yeah.
ever.
I feel like a lot of people don't talk about Crossroads, and I'm always hyping it up like, "Y'all sleep on Crossroads. That book is so good." I have it right over here with my stack of Carmen Lee books. But yeah, I love that book. So good.
Good. I mean, honestly, that does make me feel good. Like I said, that was originally 2 books, Open Road 1 and Open Road 2, that I wrote in 2014 and 2015, and yeah, that was kind of like my first, you know,
Yeah.
I'm writing for myself and like publishing it back when Amazon was, create space, before it was Kindle and everything. And so that book probably has the most of me of 2014 Carmen in it.
Okay. How would you say that your writing has evolved over the years?
Oh man, I don't know. I think probably I definitely think I've deepened the writing for sure. And thankfully because I did have, like I said, Crossroads when it first came out in 2014, and I pulled it and re-edited and got sent it to betas and everything, and it really, I think, deepened the story. So it was nice to kind of look back and see where my writing had started. There was definitely a lot of showing, not a whole lot of telling. I wasn't
Yeah.
going as deep into the feelings and
Mhm.
emotions. I think because just frankly speaking, I was not ready to deal with my own emotions when it came to writing.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think Crossroads and then especially Peaches and Honey, I think emotion wise, Peaches and Honey is kind of like the next step of my evolution with like writing some of these romances where there's a lot of emotional depth going in. And there's other situations that are happening in life where you still get the romance, but the characters are going through it. And so, yeah, I think the emotions are definitely I'm making myself more open to writing emotions, which sounds interesting to say, but I feel like my understanding of like even sexuality and dynamics between women in relationships and
Mhm.
friendships and family has deepened the older that I've gotten, and so it makes more like for a more richness of writing, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, would Crossroads be considered your favorite book, or do you have another one that's like out of all of the books that you've written, which one would you
Mm,
say is your favorite?
man, it kind of depends. I think for a while relationship mechanic was my favorite.
Hey, that's a
it
good
was
book.
it, it would listen
Yeah.
that truck scene. That truck scene was a lot of fun to write.
It's a really good
um,
spicy book, okay?
yeah, that one was fun. I think because Jessica's one of my favorite characters because
Yeah,
she's just so unserious.
very.
Um,
But in a good way.
she's just in a good way
In a
and like
good
one of the
way.
best ways. Yeah.
Yeah,
And like she's, generally speaking, she's harmless and she loves folks and she is always there for people, but she is deeply unserious as a person. And I love her for that. And then like Benny also is one of my favorite characters just because she is so like she knows herself and she knows what she wants and she's so stable. And I'm like, ma'am, unmedicated, that stable? How do you do that?
that's real.
you know? So yeah, for the longest time, I think Mechanic was one of my favorite books. I think emotion wise, Peaches and Honey and Crossroads kind of like that, like together are probably my favorites just for exploring like emotions and like even just like your evolution of yourself and understanding who you are as a person. And then I'd say, Mine, Yours, Ours is my favorite because I get to kill people in the book and like I need a little of that. Let me get some of that the stress
Yeah.
and rage, like put it in there. So it kind of, depends on like why is something my favorite kind of thing.
But, that makes sense with you saying that you're a mood reader and a mood writer, so depending on the mood, the favorite book could
Yeah.
vary. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Mhm. Now I'm really excited to read Peaches and Honey. I ordered your book box, so
Oh
it's one
yeah.
of the stories in the book that
Oh yeah,
you're
the
yeah, yeah.
XO
Yep,
Sapphic book box.
yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited about that one because it includes a novella that I never released.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
like
And
that.
so I think I might have just announced like what the blurb is for that particular one, but it's two tropes too that I have not necessarily really like done. It's still small town because like I said, I love my small towns, but it's the only one bed trope.
Oh,
And
I like
and we're
one
getting
bed.
messy. Yes, and we're getting messier because they have potentially feelings for one another, but their older siblings were engaged and just separated.
Oh, that is messy.
And oh, it's messy. It's so messy. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's messy and they're trying to figure it out. And one of their friends is trying to play Cupid and they don't realize it. So it's gonna be I'm excited for y'all to get it.
Mhm.
It's gonna be fun.
Look, I try to tell people who are not queer, like, it really is messy over here in these women loving women streets, okay?
Yes.
Very messy. Okay, I'm here for it. I'm excited now, cause now you got I wanna read about, women killing in
yeah.
the dark romance, I'm here for it, and then I get some messy lesbian, messy sapphic drama. Sign me up for
Yes.
all of it. Yes, I want all of
Yes.
it. So, do you have any other projects that are coming out that you want to tell listeners about?
So along the lines with the, women loving women, but also killing people, I have another novella out in the 10th Muse anthology. It is called The War We Chose, and it's also a sapphic mafia. It's not as dark currently as Mine, Yours, Ours, but that's coming out February 3rd. It's up for pre-order on Amazon, and that one is a limited run, and all money that is raised for that is going to an organization, and so none of that money is coming back to us authors. But like we thought it was a great way to kind of raise money. And then in April, I've been a little quiet about it, but I have book 3 in my Dumond series is coming out. That is one of my like family saga. It's 5 siblings and, Black Atlanta luxury, but also secrets and trying to figure out their lives. But book 3 is Sapphic. It is one of the twins and one of her brother's executive assistants. They have a friends with benefits relationship that,
Ooh.
yeah,
Hey,
that
I
they
like
they
that.
think is under wraps, but everybody knows about it, of course. But there's a little bit of tension because some secrets were revealed in book 2 that are gonna kind of explode in book 3. And it's the ladies are darker than the guys. Like that series started out very contemporary, and book 3 has been a bit of a surprise as I'm going through. I'm like, okay, all right. So we're fully in the dark side here.
I love
Gotcha.
that.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. I'm excited. And then I will be announcing something that's coming in August, but I can't say what it is just yet. But it is sapphic. It is in the Pretty One Vicious world. So we're continuing some more dark sapphic romance, which I'm excited to do. And then of course in October is book 4 in the Peach Blossom series. I'm excited about this one. It actually is not a sapphic book. It's queer, but it's not sapphic because, like I said, pretty much
Mhm.
everybody in my worlds are queer. But I have been asking people if they want to take a guess about who the couple might be because we haven't announced who the couple is yet.
Oh, I can take a guess.
Okay.
I can Okay, I don't remember his name, but the guy that works at the cafe or the restaurant, the friend?
Oh, there's Thomas that works
Yes.
at the cafe. So, no, it's not him.
Oh, okay.
Brad and Thomas are in a couple currently. Like Brad is Ava's best friend and Thomas
Yes.
runs the diner. And I thought about giving their backstories, but I also am trying very much to like stay in my lane. Like I do have
Understood.
one male romance with Rod from Taste of Him. And that book actually it's one of those where I had never planned on writing that book, but and I'm going to throw another author friend of mine out here, Mika James
Yeah, I
tagged me
like Mika James.
publicly. Oh, I love her too. However, she is bad for my schedule when it comes to writing because she tagged me publicly on Twitter back when we actually did Twitter, asking if such and such was going to get a book. And then I got piled on by other people who were like, oh,
Understood.
yes. So then, of course, it was like, all right, well, now I have to write that book. But yeah, I mean, I tend to not, I do have like male characters. And like I
Mhm.
said, when it comes to queer relationships, especially when it comes to Black queer relationships, I want to see all of them. Give me the
Yeah.
Black poly, give me the Black gay, give me the Black bisexual, like sapphic, lesbian, all of the things. Like, give me all of the Black relationships and all their iterations. But generally speaking, I tend to stay in like the MFFF kind of world of things. But yeah, I mean, I love Brad and Thomas as a couple. They're just so much fun. You'll
Mhm.
see a little of them in book 4. Like I try very much to bring in some of the side characters that people kind of know and loved. And so you can kind of catch up with them and see what
Okay.
they're up to. But no, it's not them. I
Well, now I have to go
know.
back to the drawing board because there are other characters that have popped up, like even in the
hmm
Secret Crush book club. You should do
Curious.
a
I'll have to like
poll.
I really should. I've been thinking about doing that
Yeah.
on Instagram. So, you know what? I will. I'll do a poll on Instagram and see what people think because I'm really curious because,
Yeah.
like, people want Daddy Williams' story, and I am
I would love
open,
that.
right? He needs his own story. He's
He
such a good
does.
dad.
Oh my god, I love his character, and anybody that has any type of, like, father wound or, like, family trauma, he just gives you a nice warm hug, like, through the page.
Yeah.
I really like his character.
Yeah, I was very, very specific about him as a character. I think because I also had, like, Danny's ex-husband in there who was such a bastard that I, really wanted to show, like, awesome black dads,
Yes.
you know, because they have people have that stereotype about black dads, and I'm like, "Listen, that's not my ministry. I don't know
And that's
what to
not
say about
everybody's
that."
experience.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
so, I wanted their dad to just be awesome, and I really want to write a love story for him. I do have some thoughts and ideas that I've, like, jotted down, and part of me wanting to have so many awesome side characters is, the hope that I can continue writing in this world with Afterglow
yeah,
and, keep sending them books and them being like, approved. Let's write the next one. And so hopefully
okay.
I can write his story because he needs one. He deserves a really
I
nice,
agree.
yeah. And I have a lady in mind for him. So
Well, my last question, as we're, ushering in a new book, is there any scene or part from the book that you're really excited for readers to get to and experience?
I put out on threads earlier just kind of a funny picture
Mhm.
about my, like, writing and editing my process because I tend to write the ending first and then kinda go back.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, but just like a little glimpse into the sometimes chaos that is an author's writing, process. I took a screenshot of what my document looked like at one point, and chapter 27, it just said dash insert strap.
My type of book girl.
Yeah. So I think at this point, chapter 27 is gonna be a good one with with the spice in there.
Yes.
Chapter 27 did have me update some of the content warnings, which is good. But I think too, there's definitely a scene where the two female main characters, because they sort of start out not completely as enemies, but slightly adversaries. And there's a moment, or well, there's a couple moments where they kind of realize that there's definitely something there, and that neither one of them are trying to, trap the other.
Mm,
They find that there's more freedom together than apart. And that scene was a lot of fun to write just because it kind of showcases the depth of their character and their love together, which was a lot of fun, especially
yeah.
because a good portion of this book is dark. And I know everyone's dark romance scale kind of is subjective and depends. And for me, between the two of them, the dark romance isn't really between the two of them. It's really like them against the world. Very like,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
yeah, very, Queen Latifah said it all.
Oh, that's a vibe. Okay. Understood. Oh, yeah. Understood. I think my book clubbers are gonna be excited. The one thing that they've been asking for are, like, spicier reads. They want a spicy book, but they want it to feel like it's authentic or genuine to
Mhm.
a woman-loving woman experience, and they don't always feel like the
Mhm.
books deliver, but, like, the fact that it's insert strap,
Okay.
I know they gonna want straps. For real, straps, toys, scissoring, all of that stuff, like, they want to read those things in the books because 'cause we've been reading a lot more slow burns. I love slow burns, that's,
Mhm.
like, one of my favorite tropes. So, it I have been maybe picking too many slow burns for them. They want spicy, okay? So,
Yeah.
they're gonna enjoy it.
I'm super yeah, this definitely and I do tend to write a lot of slow burns. Mine is very much like, it's, you light the fuse and it takes a little while, but once it hits there,
Yes.
I'm like, I wanna deliver when you get it. But this one definitely they do start spicier faster. And yeah, I mean, they're I don't know, women are gorgeous, so I'm just like, there's lots of moments where it's just like, yeah, no, we're talking all about the ways that, you know, insert yourself
Yeah.
and in that scene very much. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I can tell you now, my girls, they're gonna enjoy that then. That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they're
Good.
looking
I
for.
aim to please.
Yes,
Good.
thank you, thank you. Well, I've really enjoyed talking with you. This was a great conversation. I feel like I still have more stuff to you know what? One more question, one more question.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, do you have a favorite trope? I know you said you like friends to lovers, but,
Mhm.
like, tropes that you really love to write and then some that you're excited to maybe explore in the future?
Yeah. So I love friends to lovers, 100%. I also really like forced proximity. I think because I play The Sims, I'm that person
I
who's
love The
playing and
Sims.
like right? And I like put them in a room and I'll like delete the door so they can't leave. That sounds terrible. If they ever become sentient, I'm sorry. Okay. But yeah, I love forced proximity. I love when the characters don't have a choice but being around one another, and kind of slowly but surely you can tell when that annoyance turns to like almost foreplay in a sense.
Mhm.
So love that. One and I had a friend of mine ask a question about this is breeding kink,
Oh,
but between lesbians.
interesting.
And he was like, "But how does that work? Neither one of you can get the other pregnant." And I'm like, it ain't
You can
about that."
try.
100%. So that has been fun to explore, which is part of what the chapter 27 insert strap was all about. Um,
I
but
see
that
the
one,
vision.
yeah,
I see the vision.
yes,
Okay.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh,
Okay, now I gotta read this book, girl. Yeah, I see the
yes,
vision. Okay.
yeah, and it's one of those too. Like I said, now I'm like, oh man, okay, I've talked up chapter 27, so if we get there and it doesn't hit, people are gonna be like, Carmen, you lied to me. Um, But yeah, that one has been a lot of fun just because, different exploration. It's a lot of fun to like put different things on the page and see what people like and what resonates and what's fun to write. There have been some times where even I'm kind of surprised
Mhm.
where this led, and I'm the one supposedly writing the book. And I'm just like, how did we get here? What how did we do this?
You're just a
Um
vessel for your characters. That's what it is.
100%. They just whisper in my ear. It's very much like that Kermit meme, "Do it."
Yeah.
And and even for the book coming out in October, there's a scene that I was going through edits. It was not even in the first draft of the book, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. So I'm actually waiting to see what my editor thinks about it when she sends me her notes back, because it was not in the first iteration of this book. And I'm like, "Whoa, my goodness, how did we get here?" Okay. Um, all right. So that's gonna be a new one, a new one in that one. But yeah, I think exploring some of the different like aspects of how two women specifically can pleasure one another has been
Yeah.
really interesting, especially I feel like in some of the darker books that I have coming. But also even in some of the cozy small town books that you've already purchased, there might be something
Yes.
fun in that one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember
I say
reading
the
The Relation Mechanic for the first time. I said, "Okay,
yes.
girl."
I was, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried on that one at first because I think because the 710 split was such a slow burn, like I don't even think they kissed until like, I don't know, chapter 19, 20. Like it was a while. And then when I was writing the relationship mechanic, I think just also by virtue of the fact that they started as friends with benefits.
Yeah,
So it had to be faster because otherwise, what are the benefits?
exactly.
But yeah, I was a little worried. I was like, I will say as an author, it's always a little nerve-wracking to do something slightly different than what you've been doing. And I
Mhm.
had been doing slow burns for so long that I was a little worried that making a faster burn, and I really don't call it a fast burn. It's medium burn, I think, compared to some of the books that I've read. But yeah, I was little worried that people might be like, "Oh,
I
there's too
understand.
much in this." Um, but people really liked it. They're like, "Yeah, no, girl, that was good." I was like, "Okay, good. Okay, good."
But, I think that as an author, you kinda flexing on us and letting us know, "I could do this too." It's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It is definitely one of those things where like trying to build an author brand, some
Yeah.
authors are known for always writing slow burns, always writing cozy, which is totally fine. But I think especially as like I've evolved as an author, I am a mood writer. And so, for a minute I thought like with mine, yours, and ours, I thought, should I publish under a pen name, a different pen name, and do it that way? But at the same time, I'm just like, no, I feel like my readers will
Yeah.
enjoy this as well. And if they don't, that's totally fine. If someone only wants to read my catalog of small town romances, more power to them. And if, when I have these darker sapphic romances coming out, if people only want to read those, more power to them. But I also think a lot of readers are mood readers. So sometimes
Yes.
you want to read something nice and fluffy and as I call it, like kind of low angst, that it's going to make you feel good, which is like Autumn's Embrace. Like that's one of the stories that's in Her Kind of Love, is very much like a cozy, low angst, feel good, sapphic small town romance. And then other times you might want Mine, Yours, Ours, where it's like, yeah, we're talking about power dynamics and,
Yes.
legacy and horrible family dynamics, and how do you handle that? And, wanting to sleep with your twin brother's wife. You know,
Exactly.
so
Look, we're multifaceted. Okay.
100%.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot of freedom choosing not to box yourself in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I want to make this long term. And also, I think because it's getting better now about having Black Sapphic books to read from, like, there are more authors that are
Yes.
writing different books and, and I love it because 'cause I'm just like, if I see another one, pop up, I'm like, "Okay, let me go, spend my $2.99, $3.99. Oh, no, this is really good. Never mind. I'm spending $20.99 to buy this physical book."
Yes.
But, it's nice to see that we have different things available if we want to read Black Sapphic books,
Yes.
you know? Give me the sports romance, give me the beekeepers,
Yes.
give me the billionaire Black women who are killing the game and, you know,
Yes.
sleeping with everybody's wife.
Facts.
Give me all of it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of readers draw inspiration from the books. Some people may not have thought to explore certain things sexually, and the
Mhm.
things that you all are writing in the books give people the language, the visual. Like, what, let me see if my partner is willing to try this with me.
Yeah.
And these different type of characters also help us see ourselves in different capacity. You know,
Mhm.
you might aspire now, like, look, I could be a billionaire too. And seeing those
Yeah.
characters, yeah, it just really helps you see yourself in a different light and imagine and dream big. And we need that.
We totally do. I think, we have how many different billionaire bad boy,
Yes,
you know, cis white guy books? Give me the same thing with Black women. Give me
yes.
the same thing with Black queer men. Get like every time Julian Winters drops a book, I get it immediately. Like auto
Mhm.
buy. Give me all of the Black gay
Yes.
fiction, romance, everything. Like give me 10. Give me 10,000. Give
Absolutely.
me 10 million. I want it all.
Yes. Cuz representation is so important. So important.
Very much so. Very much
Yep.
so.
I just thank you. This was a great conversation,
Oh,
and
thanks.
I wasn't ready for it to end, so you dropped some gems there, and but thank you so much for coming on my podcast and for,
Yeah.
supporting me by being here, and I really look forward to reading your new books and just continuing to support you and your work, and I'm just grateful that we have you as a voice in this space, and I will continue to use my platform to amplify your work and support you. So just thank you.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. This is a lot of fun, and it's nice to be able to like kind of, talk about writing and reading and, what's coming next and what I hope to have coming next. So,
Yes. All right. Well, last thing, where can readers and listeners find you? Where can they go find more of your work?
yeah, so you can find me on my website carmenlee.com. I'm on TikTok. My kiddo tells me I need to post more, so I'm trying my best, as well as Facebook and Instagram and Threads at Author Karmen Lee across all platforms. I'm also on YouTube, supposed to be. Supposed to be posting videos just kind of about a writing process, what it's like kind of behind the scenes as an author who has a full-time job and a child and trying to juggle everything. But yeah, you can pretty much find me across all of those.
All right. Well, thank you again. I really enjoyed our conversation, and hopefully this will be a very successful launch, and we will be
Thank
reading your
you.
new book for February. Yes.
Thank you. Fingers crossed. I hope the Amazon gods are nice to me.
Thank you for tuning in to the Book Lovers Club. If you love today's episode, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a chapter. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review, because you know those reviews help other lovers find us. So if you want to keep this conversation going, please join me on Instagram or hop on over to Fable to join the virtual book club. And until next time, remember, the stories we read can help us write the love lives of our dreams. See you next Sapphic Saturday.